Welcome to the Gospel Addict Podcast. I'm Bryan.
And I'm Jim Reski.
We're gospel addicts because we believe the gospel of Jesus isn't just good news, it's the best news ever.
We're addicted to the gospel because it doesn't just start us out in the Christian life, it is the Christian life.
Join us as we look at the Bible through the lens of the gospel.
Thanks so much for listening.
All right, ready for a deep dive?
Always.
Today we're tackling Thomas Chalmers and his work, The Expulsive Power of a New Affection.
A classic.
It's all about how our minds and hearts, deal with change, especially those stubborn habits and desires we can't seem to shake.
Oh, Chalmers gets right to the heart of why change is so difficult. And his take on it, it's really interesting.
So imagine trying to break a bad habit.
Yeah.
Uphill battle, right?
Definitely.
Chalmers argues that simply knowing something is bad, it's not enough.
He's spot on. He talks about this human aversion to emptiness.
Right. Like we need to have something to focus our energy on.
Exactly. To connect with. He calls it the empty room problem.
I love that analogy.
It's so good
Yeah.
because it highlights how much our hearts crave an object of affection, something to gravitate toward. We've all felt that, haven't we?
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's a habit we're trying to break or a relationship that's ended or just feeling a bit lost in life, Trying to quit something without filling that space is tough.
It is.
It creates a void and, well, nature abhors a vacuum.
So true. It's like that endless cycle of swapping one bad habit for another.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a different flavor of the same problem.
Exactly.
Ditch the sugary soda, become obsessed with juice cleanses.
Yes. And Chalmers goes deeper into this by distinguishing between desire and indulgence.
Okay, unpack that for us.
Okay, so he says there's love as desire, that yearning for something we don't have.
Right?
And love as indulgence, the enjoyment of what we already possess.
Okay.
Both are powerful. And both can be hard to escape.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So even if you know something isn't good for you, like endlessly scrolling on social media,
right,
you still get that little dopamine hit.
You do.
You're indulging in that enjoyment, even though long-term it's not great.
Exactly. He uses this example of a gambler who knows gambling is pointless,
right,
yet finds the act itself enjoyable.
It's both fascinating and frustrating, isn't it?
It is.
We're not always ruled by logic, even when we think we are.
We're not. Chalmers says, forget willpower, forget logic.
Forget them.
Yeah, it's about substitution.
Substitution. Okay, like swapping out a bad ingredient for a better one when you're cooking.
I can get behind that.
Exactly. His big idea is that to really change, we need to find a new, stronger affection to replace the old one.
It's not about suppressing the desire, but redirecting it towards something better, something more fulfilling.
So less, I'm going to resist that whole bag of chips, and more, I'm going to crush this amazing, delicious, healthy meal.
Yes.
Find something that makes the other stuff look, just blah in comparison.
Yes.
Okay, I'm liking this. This feels way more doable. Would you say that's accurate?
It is, absolutely.
Do you have any examples of how this substitution thing plays out in real life?
Tons. Think about a kid, right?
Yeah.
Obsessed with a particular toy, you can lecture them all day about moving on, but often it's only when they find an even cooler toy that they naturally just leave the old one behind.
So true.
Or picture someone consumed by their work, classic workaholic, who then discovers a passion for, let's say, community activism or something.
Yeah, they find something so meaningful that it's like their priorities shift.
Yes.
It's not even about deprivation. It's more like an upgrade.
Exactly. And Chalmers argued that humans have this unconquerable need for attachment.
Oh, interesting.
We can't just erase desire,
right?
But we can redirect it.
Okay.
And for him, the ultimate substitution was the love of God.
This is where his background, I think, as a theologian really shines through.
Right.
Because it goes beyond just self-improvement. It's about connecting with something bigger than ourselves.
Exactly.
So how does he illustrate that?
He uses this really vivid example to make this point. Imagine someone who's a total pleasure seeker. They've done it all, experienced it all.
The classic, been there, done that, didn't do much for me, did it?
Right.
It reminds me of those celebrities. You see them, they seem to have it all, fame, fortune, and they're still not happy.
Yes. That's the misery of the empty heart that Chalmers is talking about.
Empty heart.
It highlights how the goal isn't emptiness, but healthy attachment.
So let's talk about that. How does Chalmers make the case that the love of God is the answer to this empty room problem?
He uses this analogy of the Israelites in Egypt forced to make bricks without straw. And he says, without the proper material, we can't build a strong foundation for change.
We need something to actually like build with.
Right.
And for Chalmers, that material was faith.
Yes.
It's not enough to just like intellectually agree with this idea of God.
Right.
You have to cultivate a genuine, like heartfelt connection.
Yes, exactly.
Right. So I'm picturing someone who's like maybe going through the motions of religion without really like feeling it,
Yeah.
like deep down. Is that kind of what he was getting at?
Yeah, you've hit on a crucial point. Chalmers would say that's not true faith.
Right.
True faith for him was transformative. It's not passive acceptance, but active engagement.
Okay. I bet some people listening might be like, hold on. Isn't focusing on God's love a bit too easy? What about putting in the effort, taking responsibility? You know?
Yeah.
How would Chalmers respond to that?
He introduces this really interesting concept of free grace.
Free grace. Okay, for those of us who don't speak fluent theologian, break that down for us.
Basically, it means that God's love is unconditional. It's a pure gift. It's not something you earn. And actually, Chalmers argued that experiencing this kind of radical, undeserved love is exactly what makes you more likely to dedicate your life in a way that honors that love.
Okay.
It's about gratitude, not obligation.
It's like when someone shows you like amazing kindness and you almost feel this urge to reciprocate, not out of like, ugh, I have to, but just because you're so grateful.
Yes, exactly.
It's less about rules and more about your heart just like overflowing.
Yes.
I feel like we need an analogy to really like ground us home. Chalmers was big on those.
Oh, he was. And he's got a powerful one for this. Imagine standing between two worlds. On one side, you've got everything you know, all those comforts, pleasures, that familiar life you've built.
Sounds kind of cozy. But there's a catch, right? There's always a catch.
Always. On the other side is this vast, unknown darkness.
Ooh, scary.
Stepping away from everything you know, going into that void. It's unsettling, right?
Yeah.
It's natural to cling to what we know, even if it's not really making us happy.
Oh, I'm getting major. What's behind door number 2? Anxiety, just picturing this.
But here's where the analogy gets really good, okay?
Okay.
What if, as you're staring into this darkness, a beautiful island appears?
Okay.
And not just any island, but one that's like everything you've ever dreamed of.
Crystal clear water, swaying palm trees.
Yeah.
Maybe a friendly dolphin or two. I'm just saying.
Chalmers' point is this is what faith allows us to see, a glimpse of something so much better, so inherently more captivating than what we're used to, that our desires naturally shift. It's not about forcing ourselves to give things up. It's about being drawn towards something infinitely more appealing.
So that empty room in our hearts doesn't seem so scary anymore because we've caught a glimpse of what could fill it, right?
Right.
A love, a sense of purpose that's like more real, more lasting.
Yes.
Deep stuff, Chalmers.
He's good. And he'd say, this isn't just a metaphor. He truly believed that experiencing the love of God was like discovering that island, a total perspective shift.
Wow.
That changes your desires at a fundamental level.
What I find so fascinating is even though he's focused on the love of God, this whole point about substitution, finding that new island to set sail for,
Right.
that feels relevant to anyone, religious or not.
Absolutely. It makes you think, what are we holding on to, even when it's not serving us?
Right.
What would it take for us to let go and embrace something new, something better? Maybe it's a deeper connection with your values, your community, or even just yourself.
Yeah. It's not always about like willpower,
Yep.
right? It's about discovering that thing that sparks so much joy and purpose that everything else just kind of fades away.
It's about finding your island.
Finding your island. I love that. Well, that was quite the deep dive.
It was.
Thomas Chalmers, everyone. Thanks for joining me.
My pleasure, as always.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Gospel Addict Podcast. Feel free to contact us via email at gospeladdictpodcast@gmail.com.
Stay tuned for our next episode, and remember, on your worst days, you're never beyond the reach of God's grace, and on your best days, you're never beyond the need of God's grace.
See you next time.